Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today I'm going to give you some tips for your leaps, specifically your saut, which is your développé leap, and your grand jeté, which is your brush leap. And I'm not just going to give you the basic advice of like plie more or do your oversplits, because those two things, in my experience, are not really going to improve your leaps like you want them to. I wanted to give some slightly more out-of-the-box tips. It's a little bit of physics and a little bit of my own personal experience. I'm going to give you some tips, and I'm also going to give you some exercises that you can do at home to work on the specific muscle groups that will help you in your leaps. And if you stick around to the end, I have another cool little resource for you guys to make it even easier for you to do these at home. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see new videos every week about dance and my life. I can do more videos like this in the future if y'all would like. I wanted to just focus on these two leaps for right now because I think there's a lot of information to cover. I don't want you to get overloaded if we're talking about like 10 different types of leaps. So we're keeping it basic. All right, welcome to my classroom, everyone. So let's start by talking about this whole plie situation. When I was doing my research for this video, I found an article that mentions how Irish step dancers, they jump super, super high, but they barely plie at all. And I noticed the same thing with a lot of gymnasts. So it got me thinking, you know, maybe plie isn't the biggest thing here. Maybe that's not the only way to get your leaps up higher. But like I said, it's also based a little bit on my personal observations, so it might not work universally. It's worth giving it a shot though. So let's break down a leap really quickly. When you do a saut or a développé leap, if you think about it, your leap is only going to go as high as your front leg allows it to. So if I do my chasse step and I only extend my leg to right here, my leap is only going to go right here. If I'm able to extend it all the way out to 90, then my leap will probably be close to 90. But what you're really, really aiming for is to get that front knee and that front leg to go higher than 90 degrees, shoot up and out, and get your hips and your whole body up that high. So in theory, it's very simple. Get your front leg up higher, your whole body will go up higher. But that's just in theory. So first of all, if you're not flexible enough to get your leg up there, that's not gonna happen. But more importantly, even if you're flexible, if you don't have the range of motion or the strength to get your leg up there, you're still not gonna get up there. And that is where these exercises come in. An exercise you can do to build up, it's kind of going to be a little bit of your hip strength, your glute strength, and take all these exercises with a grain of salt. They're going to be isolating very specific muscle groups, but as we all know, dance requires you to use a lot of different muscles. So obviously you need to be strong everywhere, but this will help with the specific areas required for leaps. So very simple exercise that you can do is just stand at the bar, stand somewhere, or you can do it in the center. Just bring your foot to an attitude in front. Watch your hips, make sure your ribs are closed, and just work on extending it out from there. And back, and extend, as if you're doing a leap, and in. If you want to take it to the next level, you can do it with no arms and actually practice your leap arms. So you can do like a third position. If you're still struggling a little bit with getting your knee up, you can try and almost do like a prep into a leap. So what you'll do is go from like a little fourth position, basically. But it's not a real fourth position because most of your weight is going to be on your front leg. And the reason that we have the weight on our front leg is because when you think about doing a chasse or a step into a leap, when you step, your weight's all up here, right? Your chances are you're not back here. If you are, that's probably why you're not getting very high. Practice going from a little fourth position, but barely having any weight back here, from fourth and out. From fourth and out. Okay, so that's for your front leg and your saut. To work on your front leg in your grand jeté, it's gonna take a little bit more effort to get that leg up there. I'm sure a lot of you know how much easier it seems to be to do a saut as opposed to a grand jeté. And that's because when you do a saut, it's essentially, you're just flicking from the knee. You're already up here. It's just your knee extending up. Whereas when you do a grand jeté, you have to bring your leg from all the way back here, all the way up there. And that's why they're more difficult and a lot of people prefer to do saut. So to work on getting your front leg up in your grand jetés, I would suggest just doing grand battements. So you can do this same way with the bar in the center, just standing and just doing grand battements devant. But you really want to focus on shooting that leg up and bring it back down. It's that action and that power that you need to get your leg up super high, right? Sorry if my head keeps getting cut off. I'm a one-man band here. It's the only place with good lighting. All right, so our front leg is good. We got super high front leg. Now what about our back leg? What we don't want is for our front leg to be super, super high and beautiful, and this back leg is over here like that. So we gotta strengthen the back side as well. Now, this is pretty straightforward. You just wanna work on your glute and your back muscles. So you can just stand with your foot pointed back and work on doing arabesque lifts. And you can use your arm if you'd like to really mimic the action of doing a leap. As I talked about with the Grombat Moz, you really want to focus on that shooting up action because that's what's happening in your leap to get you up. So you don't want to just go slow and down. You want to have a ton of energy as if you were doing this in a leap. So you want to be here and you just want to go up and down, up and down. Watch that you don't squish your shoulders up and do anything funny with your upper body like I probably was doing right there. If you want to take it up a notch, you can get an ankle weight and put it around your ankle and try those as well. And another thing that you can do is work on pulses. So if you're able to get a flat split leap, but you want it to look a little bit more hyperextended, work on arabesque pulses. So you can just stand, get your leg up pretty much as high as it can go, and then just pulse it up and up and up. So those are the exercises that you can work on, but there are a couple other things that I want to touch on with your leaps that might help you. So the first thing is, like I mentioned earlier with your prep, maybe take your video camera or your phone or whatever, record yourself doing a leap and see how you're prepping into it. If your weight is too far back into your heels before you're jumping up, it's going to be way, way, way harder to get your hips up in the air. But you also don't want to be too far forward, because if you're running and you're too far forward, you're just going to go down into the floor. So the ideal prep would be chassé, you step, your weight is even here. Your knee is going over your toe. There's not a whole lot of weight on this back foot, and you just push up. The foot that is in front is going to be doing a lot of work to get you up off the floor. So if you want to work on just doing single leg jumps, like in a coupe, just go plie and jump and try and get super high off the floor. That will help you. But make sure you're watching your weight. Recording yourself is such a useful tool for this. I'm breathing heavily. Oh, and then the last thing is make sure that your upper body is not dragging you down. So I know that we just did a lot of talking about our leg muscles, but your upper body is just as important. You'll notice a significant difference in your leaps if you're hunching over even slightly as you do everything, because that's just going to weigh you down and take you down to the floor. But if you're using your core muscles, squeezing your ribs in, your chest is lifted and your shoulders are pressed down, and you do a little bit of a lift in your upper body, you might go up a little bit higher. Just pretend you're a little fairy, but with like super powerful legs. Okay, so those are the tips that I have for your leaps. If you want to make it even easier to remember all of these exercises, I've actually included a little cheat sheet of all of these exercises that is like the perfect size for Pinterest. It's a perfect size if you just want to like set it as your wallpaper on your phone, and when you go do a workout or whatever, you can look at it. I actually have a website and I'm going to start posting more stuff like that on there. So you can go to it. It's just my name, KayleenBabel.com. You can follow my Pinterest boards if you'd like. Share with your friends, with your homies. I hope y'all are doing well at home. Sending you all of my love. I'll see you next week. Bye.